And to be frank, and frankly, who wouldn't want to be frank? He's crazy. His real name is Alonzo Kiyama, this old skinny guy from Spain. But one day he gets really depressed. He broods and broods and broods. And from so much brooding, his brain's dry up. He lays down the melancholy burden of sanity and conceives the strangest project ever imagined. To become a knight-errant, to sally forth into the world, righting all wrongs. His name, Don Quixote de la Mancha. One of his first missions Don attempted was to attack a vicious four-armed ogre. Unfortunately, this ogre turned out to be a windmill. And in my life, I've always tried to copy Don Quixote and all that I've done. I've tried to follow in his footsteps. But there are no windmills in England. Unfortunately, the big yellow ogre that I ran into was a bust. But what we can learn from Don Quixote, as we go into this big scary world, is his perception of life. We live in a world that seems to get worse every day. Every time we turn on the news, we hear about how our world's going down the toilet. But what Don Quixote was able to do was to flush down the excrement of life, pull out the good stuff. No, he did not live in reality. Who wants reality? In the musical The Man of La Mancha, Cervantes was accused of turning his back on that. His answer was, I've lived my life for almost 50 years, and I've seen life as it is. Pain, misery, hunger, cruelty beyond belief. I've seen my comrades fall in battle. These were men who saw life as it is, yet they died despairing, their eyes filled with confusion, quivering the question, why? I do not think they asked why they had died, but why they had lived. When life itself seems lunatic, who knows where madness lies? Too much sanity maybe matters. Perhaps to be practical is madness. Maddest of all is to see life as it is, not as it ought to be. I believe life is good. I'm one of those annoying people who go around saying, isn't life wonderful? You don't hear that much these days. I hear, life sucks, man, all the time. Of course, I've had a very easy life, and I think I owe that to my parents. My biggest problem in life has been, I'm going to invest in things. But to breathe, to be alive, to think, to see, to smell, to touch, to love, just look around you. Look at all the friends you've made. Life is wonderful. I'm not saying there aren't bad days. Sometimes it's just a bad day. Sometimes there's even bad years. Like when Carrie and Denise hung up New Kids on the Block poster. But to quote Jed Allen, life is a game of cards. Sometimes you just get dealt a bad hand. But all you can do is play out your hand and say, deal again. Just crash into the buses of life, and then turn to the person next to you and say, isn't life wonderful? A couple of months ago, I missed my ride to school. Consequently, my mom needed to walk for 3 miles. I didn't really mind because I was trying to avoid an economics test second period. On the way, I saw what looked like an ordinary mud puddle. But then I looked closer. The sunlight was giving the puddle a warm light brown below as the water drifted in through the trees above. There was grass slowly waving in the pool. And I saw life. It was a beautiful expression of life. I think that's what we must do. We must look for the mud puddles in our life and see the good. I learned more from that mud puddle than from 2 semesters of economics. I understand more clearly what was said by the woman in Monty Python when she said those immortal words,
Dennis, there's some real big deal down here.
way he lived his life. My quest is to serve God. I feel it is the highest quest possible. Maybe that's why I'm not. I don't know. But I also have a side quest. To have fun, go nuts, be crazy, stand on tables and sing, walk down the street naked, enjoy yourself. I'd like to say to the class of 1993, get your motor running, on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes your way, yeah, darling, gonna make it happen. Don't take life too seriously. Find your own quest. And whatever it may be, follow it with conviction throughout your life. Well, I'm just about done. But before I go, I'd like to read a poem. This was given to me today by my little cousin. She's about 8 years old. It's called The Graduation. Graduation is lots of fun. Pretty soon it will be done. We're going to have a great big party because you've been such a smart. You will wear a cap and gown, and no one there will wear a crown. You'll put away your high school books. Now it's time for college. Good luck, and I love you all. And with sword in hand, I go out to achieve my quest. Suzanne, this is for you. To reach the unreachable.